All right, if we could get everyone to take their seats, we'll call the meeting to order for Monday, February 24th, 2020. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderman Brunelli.
Present.
Alderwoman Cavallo.
Present.
Alderwoman Cotto. Alderman DiGiovincarlo.
Here.
Alderman Dorso.
Here.
Alderman Kula.
Here.
Alderman Lopez.
Here.
Alderman Matthews.
Here.
Alderwoman Martinez McCarthy.
Here.
Alderman Nugent.
Present.
Alderman Salvio.
Present.
Alderman Sherman.
Here.
Alderwoman Weaver. Alderwoman Zimmerman.
Present.
Alderman Pronaruski.
Here.
14 present.
Thank
One
you.
absent.
Thank you. We have a quorum. With that, the first item on the agenda is public speaking. Anyone who wishes to address the board, sign up with the city sheriff. Please state your name and address for the record. And there's a 5-minute limit. I'll give you a 1-minute heads up, Mr. Sheriff.
First speaker tonight from 62 Avalon Circle, Mr. Richard Woods.
Richard Wood, Avalon Circle, Waterbury. I've avoided coming down to meet with you because what I generally have to say isn't much fun. I think you saw the Sunday paper with the drug overdoses increasing. Well, the thing is, would you like to know where they bought the drugs that they killed themselves with? Very simple. You can go up to Bronson Street, right over here, and you'll see 8 or 9 guys out there handing out the dope to the clients who come by in their car or walking up. Or they go to Manhan Street, which is on the other side of Willow Street, and that's where they get their dope. And these are the thing is that the police are doing a good job picking up these places, but it's a very difficult thing if the public doesn't participate. The public has to take part of the responsibility for this problem. And it's up to you reaching out to your constituents in your area to make sure that they are aware of that and how to do it. You might want to have some classes for them as to how to recognize what's going on in their neighborhood, because these things will affect our schools and our tax rolls eventually. This afternoon, I get a phone call from someone. They wanted a list of the food banks, which I give out a couple of hundred a week. So I said, yeah, I'll bring it down for you, not a problem. So I stopped into their apartment off of Willow Street, and I go over the list, explain some changes. For example, the Assembly of God is no longer on Wednesday, it's on Saturday. Reverend Shelley has changed it for some reason, and it's working out very well. It's a very, very solid program. Now we have at the Majid, or the mosque on Prospect Street, we have a distribution of food the last Saturday of the month, 7 o'clock in the morning. So if you need something, come early, because it's gone very, very quickly. But the thing is, I dropped off this list for this individual who happens to have a familiar name to any one of you. If I told you her family name, you'd say, oh yes, I know that family well. We all know these families well. These are the sons and daughters of the people that we represent in different ways. As I bring in, I go over the list with her and someone else that was there, and she proceeds to get her dope ready and shoots in her arm, gets the tube on the arm, makes sure the vein is swollen, and she can proceed to kill herself. The thing is, once they start this, you can't leave, because if they overdose, you have to administer the Narcan or call it in, depending whether you carry it with you or not. But this is what's happening in our town. Wherever you drive around, you can see the effects of the dope and the business that it's involved with. And the thing is that it's affecting our schools also, because sometimes it will be sold in the schools. And you won't hear much about it, but you ask some of the teenagers, they'll tell you. And if you drive down Willow Street, you'll see them selling the dope. Or if you go over to Bronson or Manhattan, top of Central Avenue, it's a good spot to score some dope too. But the thing is, you might want to speak with the chief of police because he's doing a good job with what he's got. But he also needs some assistance. And the assistance comes from us,
1 minute, Mr. Wood.
Chincoya. The thing is that we have to work with the system. You need probable cause to take down somebody. The thing is, the police can only do so much without assistance. And if we don't give it to them, they're not going to get it anywhere else. And it's our responsibility as a senior generation, I might add. I'm probably the oldest person in this room. You all look like a bunch of teenagers to me. The thing is, this is the way it is, and we have to recognize that. Dominis Probiscum, peace be with you. May the road rise up to meet you. Good night. Not the mayor.
Next speaker from 1400 Meriden Road, Martin Spring.
Martin Spring, 1400 Meriden Road. On the agenda, tonight's agenda, I just want to wish my friend John E. Houston the best of luck. He's been a longtime friend of mine. I know he's going to be resigning off the Board of Ethics. So, John, all the best to you and your family, man. And John and I have a lot in common. We love cats, right, John? We love kitty cats. Yeah, we sure do. Okay. I was just going to say, today I was driving out toward Lakewood Road, where the lakes are on both sides. And I saw, I'm glad the officer is here, but he's today's Board of Aldermen member. Anyways, I saw somebody driving as pretty as you please with an ATV right up the road, okay? No license, no insurance, no registration, nothing. Driving up the road. Then I was coming back from my friend's garage in F&S Subaru. You know where that is, up where McDonald's is, up by the dump. And my friend, Rich Montesi, a longtime friend of mine, owns it. You know, working on cars, we go up and I know Ernie, he works on cars too. Many of you guys do. And I know, anyways, I'm driving down the road and I see a dirt bike flying up the road where the old McDonald's used to be. And, you know, I mean, it's now the weather's going to start to probably get warmer now going into spring. And I was just wondering because, you know, we were talking about it at home and we were very much concerned when we read in the paper down in Waterville, down on Chase Avenue, where the lady owns a pizza parlor, I guess, down there, and somebody hit the back of her truck. It was on the news. Everybody saw it. I mentioned it so many times because, you know, we got to do something with these people riding with the ATVs, dirt bikes, scooters, everything. I don't know, maybe you could get some kind of identification for them, some type of ID, if you will. Maybe you could make some kind of ordinance in the city of Waterbury. They have to be required to have insurance or some type of, you know, insurance or any registration or anything like that. Because to me, it's vitally important because these people seem to just don't care and they violate the law. I understand having a you know, motor vehicle license myself, and also I have a license to, you know, from my motorcycle, if you will. I know certain CCs under that you can drive legally on the road, and the officer knows that, and I don't mean to put you in the spot, but, you know, this is something that I really wish that members of the Board of Aldermen would do something because, again, you know, it's in my opinion, it's no big deal to go out there and say, because I believe other states have it, that you have to have some type of registration. You have to have insurance. Because if these people who drive around with no insurance or something, I don't know how they're going to get them insured being unregistered. But I know it's a problem, and I know members of the Board of Aldermen, I know you got your hands full. And I know it's, you know, we all know, because we all know go to Waterbury Community Club, and Mr. Lopez knows, you go to Bucks Hill and you hear them complaining up there too about it, you know. And I know all you members of the Board of Aldermen here, the people in your various neighborhood groups complaining, if you will, about ATVs and dirt bikes. So maybe we could do something. I know I came up with a proposal quite a while ago, and I'm glad people supported it. It was something very good, but I think it was watered down a little bit too much. Okay, the other thing I wanted to say is, I did mail this out, email, if you will, to members of the Board of Aldermen about using old rubberized junk tires to break them down and, shred them up and use them for the roads, paving the roads, if you will. So I didn't get a chance to make a whole bunch of copies, but I did make a few copies. So it's something that I think that, it's something that we should look at and utilize for the year 2020. I think it's vitally important. I don't have a lot of time here to talk about that, but I think it's something that, Mr. President, I think I could probably hold a copy for you if you didn't get one, because I know I did mail it to you, okay? Okay, email it, if you will. Also, another thing I did want to say is permit process changing. Waterbury pleased to drop letters requirements for pistol applications. I want to tell you something. I'm glad the members of the Board of Aldermen stepped up to the plate for this, because I know friends of mine, they're veterans themselves, and they were in the military for many years, and they're still waiting for the permits. And I can't understand if somebody served their country, still waiting for a permit in Waterbury. A long time. I believe there's at least 300 applications this month. At least they're still processing. They're going to go through them. And there's quite a few people still that they'd want to get their permits. And I was just wanted to say that it's important that we pay attention to that, because I'm glad that Roger Sherman, Alderman Sherman, Minority Leader stepped up to the plate, and George Nugent, thank you, I appreciate that. But I was talking to some other people, and I didn't know if this is required to have a public hearing before you went and did this. I'm not saying it to be disrespectful, but I just think the way things are with guns and everything, people are very much concerned. And I know I got to go. They told me, I know Debbie said, don't use up the time over here, you talk too much, Anyways, I am a legitimate gun owner, and I just want to hope that maybe someday, we can all work together for, to work with everybody with the guns. Thank you.
Mr. President, that's the last speaker tonight.
Thank you. With that, the next item of business would be the approval of the minutes for the meeting on Monday, February 10th, 2020. Is there a motion with respect to the minutes? Mr. Brunelli?
Motion approved the minutes of the regular meeting held on Monday, February 10th, 2020. So moved.
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded by Alderman Lopez. Are there any changes to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries and the minutes are approved. And with that, we will recess into committees. We'll begin this evening with the Intergovernmental Committee and then go to the Finance Committee. Thank you.
I call the Intergovernmental Committee to order. First item on the agenda is item number 6. Your Intergovernmental Committee respectfully recommends that the Board of Aldermen approve an equipment donation / distribution / repair agreement liability release and express assumption of risk with Taft School as submitted by Darren Schwartz, Chief Academic Officer, Waterbury Public Schools. May I have a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the approval of item number 6 as read.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is item number 7. Your Intergovernmental Committee respectfully recommends that the Board of Aldermen approve Amendment number 1 to the Professional Services Agreement with Access Rehab Centers, LLC, for speech and language therapy services for students as required by the Individual Education Plan, IEP, as submitted by Carrie A. Swain, Clerk, Waterbury Board of Education. May I have a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move the approval of item number 7 as read.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
Adjourned.
George?
I call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Item number 2,
Your Finance Committee respectfully recommends that the Board of Aldermen approve a refund request for a duplicate building permit in the amount of $135 for PR 201-9000-3224 regarding 128 Danielle Drive as submitted by E. Gill Graveline, Building Official, Department of Inspections.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item 3, your Finance Committee respectfully recommends that the Board of Aldermen approve a refund request for a duplicate building permit in the amount of $225 for PR 2019-0003-671 regarding 39 Society Hill Road as submitted by E. Gill Graveline, Building Official, Department of Inspections.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Standing, your Finance Committee respectfully recommends that the Board of Aldermen approve and authorize the Director of Finance to make refunds to taxpayers representing overpayments of tax bills in the amount of $27,977.36 as submitted by Frank A. Caruso, Jr., Revenue Collection Manager.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We are adjourned.
Thank you. And with that, we'll return to the regular order of business. The following items are on the consent calendar. Item 1 is on consent to receive and place on file. 2 is on consent to Item number 2 is on consent to approve a refund for a duplicate building permit in the amount of $135 for 128 Danielle Drive. Item number 3 is on consent to approve a refund for a duplicate building permit in the amount of $225 for 39 Society Hill Road. Item 4 is a receive and place on file. Item 5 is receive and place on file. Item number 6 is on consent to approve an equipment donation, distribution, repair agreement, liability release, and express assumption of risk with Taft School. Item 7 is on consent to approve Amendment 1 to the professional services agreement with Access Rehab Centers, LLC for speech and language therapy services for students as required by their individual education plan. With that, I would entertain a motion with respect to the consent calendar.
Motion to accept the consent calendar as read.
Second.
Motion having been made by Alderman Brunelli and seconded by Alderman Lopez. Are there any additions or deletions to the consent calendar? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, no. The motion carries and the consent calendar is approved as read. For standing committees, the chair would recognize Alderman Giovancarlo as chair of the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your Finance Committee respectfully recommends that the Board of Aldermen approve and authorize the Director of Finance to make refunds to taxpayers representing overpayments of tax bills in the amount of $27,977.36 as submitted by Frank A. Caruso, Revenue Collection Manager.
So moved.
Second.
Motion having been made by Alderman Cotto and seconded by Alderman Kula. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries and the refund is approved. With that, we have no further items on the agenda, but I just want to give you a heads up that we're entering the spring, so it's time for the budget work to begin. And so on Tuesday, March 31st at 7 o'clock, the mayor is going to make his budget presentation to this board. And you'll be getting a notice of that. We'll send you out a notice with the agenda and all that, but just so that you can plan for that. That's Tuesday, March 31st at 7 p.m. With that, is there anything else for the good of the order? Alderman Sherman?
Thank you, Mr. President. In reference to recent changes that have been publicized in the local paper concerning the permit process, I'd like to thank the mayor's office, namely Mac to Mac. I'd like to thank the chief of police, Fred Spagnolo. I'd also like to thank Sergeant Kerouac and Captain Gilmore for assisting with adjusting that process, and Alderman George Newjame as well. Thank you very much.
Anything further? Hearing none, Alderman Brunelli.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded by Alderman Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion carries. We're adjourned. We'll see you all in 2 weeks. Have a great week. Thank you.